Final hours of Natalee Holloway continues from Aruba with Elizabeth Vargas.
For more than 2 years, no one has been able to make more than an educated guess about what happened here on Aruba. Now, if true, the undercover tapes give us new step-by-step accounts from the only person who knows for sure, and for the first time, a map of where it all took place. Listening to the undercover tapes, it's easy to forget that this whole thing allegedly plays out in such a small area. In fact, if you were to look at the beach from a balcony like this one, you could see the whole sad tale play out directly in front of you. Starting with the fact the hotels involved are right next to one another on this one section of what's called Palm Beach. The beachfront itself is relatively small. The Marriott is next door to the Holiday Inn, where Natalee was staying, and where she and Joran first meet. Joran describes her as highly intoxicated when they meet in the hotel casino. He says he didn't particularly notice Natalee here, but they go to another bar called Carlos and Charlie's, where he says he finds Natalee is interested in him. Joran describes taking a Jell-O shot from Natalee's navel and getting her a shot of 150 proof rum. Then, though her friends want her to go back to the Holiday Inn with them, she leaves with Joran and his friends for the beach. From Carlos and Charlie's, Joran's friends drive here to this pathway where they drop off Joran and Natalee and leave the couple alone, walking toward the beach. It is here that the kissing and the intimacies begin, ending, according to Joran's new story revealed on the tape, when Natalee suffers convulsions and appears to die. Joran claims to have dragged Natalee's body to some mangroves, trying to figure out what to do. He says he hides the body and then leaves to go and make a phone call to a friend, a call he claims to have placed from right over there at the Marriott Hotel. Joran says he came down to a payphone just down the beach where he called a friend for help. The setting would have been dark and deserted. There were several boats bobbing in the water just off the shore. Now, according to his story, his friend arrives and takes the body out to sea in one of those boats. While that is happening, Joran is supposedly walking home. De Vries claims the walk should have taken longer than Joran describes, but regardless, somewhere along that route, he says he stopped. It's a perplexing part of the story. Joran claims on his way home he stopped and threw his sneakers into a sewer. There are plenty of drainage ditches along the way. He could have chosen any one of them. The question is, why would he throw the sneakers away at all? Was he trying to throw a monkey wrench in the investigation, or did he have something to hide? Perhaps shoe prints he'd left in the sand. And there are many other questions arising from Joran's disclosures. Does the story make sense? Could there be more to the story he did not tell? Most importantly, what, if any, criminal charges could he now face based simply on his own words? That's why we wanted to speak with prosecutor Hans Moss. Does the story ring true? Do you feel in your gut as an investigator that Joran is telling the truth this time?
We have to be very careful with gut feeling in cases like this. This is a so-called confession, and we know professionally that we have to be very careful with confessions. When I saw it first, it made impression. It made impression because of the way this sort of confession was made and the way the person behaved, how he confessed it, his nonverbal communication.
Like he really was sort of unloading.
That's what our impression was, and we thought that this was serious material.
Is it admissible? Can you use this to convict him of a crime?
In this situation, it is admissible in a court of law, yet the judge will have to weigh whether this will be enough to convict a person on.
Under Dutch law, is it a crime to leave somebody on a beach in distress or even dead?
Well, it depends on the circumstances under which you leave someone over there. If there is someone who is really in need of help and you don't provide that help and that person dies, that could lead to a criminal offense. If you are not sure that that girl was dead and took into account the possibility that she was in coma or whatever, and you throw her into the ocean, possibly alive, then you had a lot of time to think about that situation. Well, that could be, under circumstances, a murder case.
Do you think there must be something more to the story that he didn't admit
That's
in,
part of the
in his
investigation.
tapes?
That's a part of the investigation. That's
Most knows
was a
even
part of
with the
investigation.
tapes, the investigation will not be easy because so much remains hazy. For example, the mysterious friend Dowry. Yoran's lawyer Joe Tacopino says Yoran obviously made that story up.
The individual who he names as the person who supposedly pulled the boat over to the beach and, you know, picked up Natalie's body and brought her out to sea is an individual who wasn't even in Aruba in 2005. He was in school in the Netherlands.
Well, that's a story they made up since last Thursday. Because if you have seen the footage, and I've seen it yesterday, and he says that this Dowry guy, Dowry as he says, he knows him from a long way back, from when he's 5 years old. He knows he was a very good friend of him. He's the only friend in the world he confides in, as he does in the Patrick person. He says, there are two people in the world I fully confide in. That's you, Patrick, and that Dowry guy.
Well, just today, Dowry himself showed up, denying any involvement in Natalie's disappearance.
So when Joran van der Sloot says he had a friend named Dowry who was here on the beach on May 29th, 2005, it wasn't you?
No.
Do you have a boat?
No.
You don't own a boat?
I don't own a boat.
Is it possible, is your name common here in Aruba? Is it possible there's another young man named Dowry? That's what prosecutors believe.
I've never heard my name.
You've never heard another young
No.
man with your name here?
I went online, I see him online, I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you, man? So I started, he's like, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to say, I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, sorry doesn't help right now, you know? You got me into some serious thing right now, you know?
So he apologized to you?
Yeah, he apologized, but
Did he say that he lied?
Yeah, he said that he lied.
That is under investigation, and as you know...
Difficult or not, Most wants to keep going. He realizes there may be lies interspersed with the truth. He believes the tapes should be enough for a judge to issue a warrant for Yoran's arrest, something a judge so far has refused to do.
Do you remain confident that you will, in fact, finally be able to close the book on this case, solve it once and for all?
I hope so. I hope so, for the sake of the family, for the sake of this country, because this country has suffered a lot, and this is actually a tragedy for this country, which it never deserved.
When we come back, we'll hear from the person closest to Yoran and the person closest to Natalie, her mother, Beth Twitty. How did she react when she heard about what may have been her daughter's last moments on Earth? Where does the law take over from here? And where is Yoran?